Hey, what's up out there? It's Dave Duford from Final Expense Agent Mentor, where I help agents like you succeed in selling life insurance, no matter what kind of insurance you sell. And the purpose of today's video is to discuss why new insurance agents must use scripts if they want to be successful. So before I get started here, I want to show you guys something. My girls, I have twin girls, they're 4.5. Sometimes they come into my office when I'm gone and start drawing on stuff. And this is their little drawing here, the little picture of a girl here. Makes my otherwise crazy notes and schedule a little bit more enjoyable. So the pleasures of being a father. Anyways, to get started in today's training, I decided to put this together because I've talked to a lot of insurance agents, a lot of insurance sales trainers, a lot of just generic sales trainers that teach different kinds of products. And there's really a firm divide based on who believes in scripts and who doesn't. And what you'll find is most sides have good reasons for the feelings that they do. And so what I'm going to intend to do here is sell you on why it's really important to become a master at knowing the script that you are given as a new insurance salesperson, and why that's important and why you shouldn't do the opposite, which is go out there and actually try to sell insurance without knowing what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. So the first thing is that the reason we use a script, and when I say script, I'm referring to calling on the phone, I'm referring to knocking on doors, I'm referring to closing the deals, presenting the product that you're selling. The reason we use a script is because you need to model successful behavior. When you come into a situation where you're in an entirely new industry, you're dealing with different products, different types of people, different emotions, fears, all that kind of thing. Even if you've been selling before, it's really important that you understand the process of what makes someone successful in this particular industry. And you have to have the humility to understand that you may not know what is success to begin with. A lot of people think sales is sales, and there's some truth to that. However, hey, good morning, Lawrence. Thanks for joining. And but the truth is that you may not know the particulars of whatever product it is you're selling as a new agent. So you have to put away the arrogance, the overconfidence that you don't need a successful track to run on to start with, and you need to align yourself with a script that's been proven to work by a lot of different agents. And the thing is when you come into this with the right mindset, it makes a lot of sense. So, for example, as a new insurance agent, the one thing I didn't understand when I came into this business is that I think I'm pretty intelligent, and you probably do too. But it's likely that you don't understand the decades of experience behind that script to get it to where it is presently, the one that your boss just says, take this and run with it. And you probably don't understand the advanced communication skills and the advanced psychology behind that script. Because there's a lot of thought mixed in the trenches experience when you get a script to read. And you may read it thinking, this is kind of awkward. I don't talk this way. I don't say these kinds of words in these mental approaches. I don't think this way. And you'll be motivated not to follow that particular direction because it may not exactly coincide with however it is that you think you should sell. Well, so here's the thing. When you're new, you don't know anything, and you have to just acknowledge that. Or you think you know, but you really don't. I mean, there's a lot of stuff as an experienced insurance agent 7 years into this that I frankly learn more and more every year, and every insurance agent with experience will tell you the same thing. So you have to look at this and think, well, if I don't really know a lot about this business, I only can see what I see from the outside, which even as a new agent, you're still looking from the outside in. You have to have a leap of faith, the trust in the process that when you're presented with your battle orders, which is your script, that you follow them. You may not be hot on them or agree with them, but you've got to understand that if you trust the agency you work with and the people you're surrounding yourself with, especially if there's other successful people, that they're probably using the same type of approach, and there's probably something to it. And so here's what happens and again, I'm speaking directly to new agents here. Here's what happens as you start to read a script. It's going to sound weird at first, okay? It's going to sound weirder to you than the people you're going to sell. I just want you to be aware of that, okay? People aren't nearly as attuned the salesology and all this stuff. Like if you sit across the table from me, look, I train agents, hundreds of salespeople. I probably know if something sounds canned or not. But that still doesn't mean that I won't be interested in what you have to say, or if your product is still interesting to me. I just might remark, hey, this sounds like a canned script, and I might say, But that doesn't detract from the fact of whether or not I'll like what you're selling or not. So by using a canned script, you're not going to necessarily turn off people that may not have been even interested anyway in your sales presentation. The other factor to think about it is if you go off script, if you come up with your own, untested approach, you may miss on the sales that would have been presented to you had you had followed the script. So again, there's a lot of ways you can look at this, but hopefully the important mindset here is that you understand that a script is a recipe and a method to success. Now what happens is, long term, as you begin to do this stuff, as you begin to absorb the script into your own lexicon and your word choices, you'll begin to internalize the script. And as you know the script word for word, or pretty close thereabouts, you'll start to make your own modifications. So you may present in a slightly different manner because now you understand the fundamentals. You understand why things happen. A lot of the understanding and wisdom comes from application. It comes from testing. It comes from actually applying a method. And you see what happens when certain things and methods and word choices are said the way they are. And from this experience, again, taking this leap of faith to trust the script, you develop an understanding of, this is why this is said. And then you'll begin to get better in your delivery of the script. And part of that process is eventually that your script will mirror you more better than just the canned version, which ultimately a lot of sales is good from just plain enthusiasm, from being excited about what you sell. But you'll still follow that script. But this is only what happens after a long time of implementing what you're given. Okay, when I got into the business of selling insurance, I modeled my approach off of two guys. One is still in the business. He sells insurance in Atlanta. This guy has consistently written $200,000 of final expense every single year. I modeled my entire presentation aspect off of him. And I believe I modeled some of the rapport and trust building aspect off of him. And then there's another guy out of Iowa who has run very large marketing organizations. He sold $400,000 in final expense in 2009, 2010, so 2 years in a row. I modeled my pre-qualification process and my closing off of him as well. So I kind of took these two methods I liked that sounded really good, and I just adapted and then plugged it in and made it my own. But I didn't take something that was unfounded or untested. I just took things I liked from one to the other that was more aligned with how I like to deliver a sales presentation. And so from there, I felt like I got pretty good success. And what you hear and see from me is based off of me borrowing from these other guys who are successful. So you got to model successful behavior. And the best thing I can tell you is just as a new agent, respect the fact that you don't know anything, okay? I hate to say it like that, but it's true. If I were to go into disability sales or business-to-business sales, selling to small business owners or executives, I don't know anything. And I don't want to portray what I think I know based off of the grizzled veteran who's done this for decades, who's telling me, just say this, just do this. Like there's a lot of wisdom in just like, here, do this. And you don't see it if you're especially new to sales because it's the compilation of decades of experience simplified in an action. Just say this way. And it's funny because a lot of these guys like myself have all this experience screwing around with other stuff, coming back to the basics, coming back to the fundamentals. So in conclusion here, scripts are important. Okay, if you're a new agent, don't bypass the importance of scripts. Take a script that your guy uses. Now, this all presumes you trust the dude, okay? The guy who's training you, hopefully he does insurance sales. There's a lot of multi-level marketing organizations that recruit, but the guys that are recruiting you, they've never sold the first thing. So can you really trust these people? That's a good question to ask. But presuming you work with somebody you do trust, that does do this, that has insurance sales experience, that understands the process and the motivation and everything behind the insurance sales presentation process, take what they do and just do it. Let yourself absorb this new information. Have an open mind. And as you get better and as you get improved into the business, yeah, you're going to make some minor adjustments, but you'll find that the fundamentals that you learned originally are fundamentals for a reason, because they actually work. So follow the scripts. Don't worry about sounding canned. Nobody's really going to recognize it. And yeah, you may be a little awful. I don't want to be awful, but you may sound a little awkward first couple of sales calls, but nothing is a better teacher than implementation. Nothing's a better teacher than action. And when you take the script and you go out into the field and you sell something and you get better and you improve, each time you get out there, you get a little bit better. And then what you'll see and hear is like you'll say these scripts and it's like it just comes out. It's natural. The emphasis, the tonality's there, the word choice. You know what to say. You know what objections you're going to be rebuttaling. You got the whole thing down. And so you learn a lot of this through that process. There's no easy way to get over some of the awkwardness with a script, but that's not a reason not to do the script. And that's the main thing I want to deliver to you in this message this morning is just do what you're told, be a good soldier. That's what a salesperson really is their job is to go out there and commit a number of presentations a week to see the people and not to use their brains to the extent of self-sabotage, but to focus their brain power on activity, getting in front of good prospects, helping them find a solution, and then repeating that process again and again, and utilizing skills and methods and systems that have proven to work in other agents, in other fields, in other parts of the country. Keep it simple because it can get really complex if you allow it to. My name is David Duford. If you like the idea of selling insurance, I recruit agents in different types of insurance. Primarily what I do is final expense insurance sales. I got a lot of sales training. If you like what you hear, I would recommend you give me a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's lots of valuable training content that I provide. I do this basically 5 days a week, at least until July, or until my wife has our fourth baby here in May. So stick around. Make sure that you get on board here. I do lots of interviews, lots of great training for all agents, and I'm committed to helping agents be successful because you're desperately needed. The people out there need to work with you. There's not enough insurance in force. You need to be out there helping people because you have a gift to deliver and help people out in a time of need when nobody else can. And my dedication is to helping you guys out there who have the courage to get out there, to see the people, to face rejection and face, and make sales, make lives better. You are an honorable person, and agents are honorable professions. So anyways, thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one, and happy selling. Bye.